Okay, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Speedrunning Lost Magic. Shouldn't be too hard. Just a couple more cutscenes and then we can actually get into the run. I'll probably start talking more about what I'm actually doing once we're actually playing the game. This opening cutscene is not particularly interesting. First interesting thing I'm doing is I'm playing this bit left-handed so that I can ideally get this going quickly. That first part of the cutscene you don't really get sorry, I got a bit of a cold. You don't really get a break between the text and when you have to do the inputs, so just do it left-handed, easy. Okay. One thing I'm going to be doing for the first few levels is trying to train up my elements efficiently. For the first few levels at least, you can only gain up to experience in an element up to the 10 casts of that spell. So the aim of these first few levels is to try and cast spells in such a way that you only cast 10 fire before training ice. Fire you obviously want to get to high level quickly because that's the main source of damage. But ice you also want to train up so that you don't have quite as rough a time when you reach Lord of the Summer Haze. I guess technically you can get a tiny bit more experience for an 11th cast, but that's not going to change when you're... That's not going to substantially change when you get your level ups. So that's 3 casts of fire so far. And the aim is to get to 10 by the end of the level. So 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to try and get a crit here, but I'll wait until I've got enough mana for the ice afterwards. Didn't get it. This level there's only so many enemies, so we're not going to get to train ice that much, but if I do it right, then after the catching monster tutorial we should get our level up on fire. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. I could have used an ice there to be efficient, but oh well. One thing to note is you want to do this monster last, and you want to have a full bar of mana when you go for it, because immediately afterwards we get to meet this guy. I'm going to be calling him Leonard. I don't know if it's pronounced Leonard or anything, but standing about there is the fault and lets you catch that monster immediately. It's also worth noting that when you're doing that, you do still have mana in the background, even though you can't see it, so if you don't have enough mana to cast a spell, you just have to wait. Okay, this bit is relatively simple. One thing you can do to optimize is get Isaac to start walking in this direction. That means when you start the level proper, you will already be walking in the direction you want to go. Generally, you just want to have the orcas going around dealing with the mushes as they go. You can use an audio cue, but if they're on screen, it's also easier to just watch when the mushes die. So as you can see, Isaac's already walking in this direction, so I can very quickly start dealing with this thing. Again, we're going to do a similar thing where we try and train our ice just a little bit when we're finishing off enemies. I keep getting those fire casts where it for some reason thinks I'm trying to cast a dark spell. No idea why. and there we go, we get our first first fire level there. Sorry for the cough. Okay, that crit fire does mean that I don't get to do an ice cast I normally would, which is fine. I guess I could have, while we were waiting, just done the ice cast anyway. One thing to note, you do kind of want to let your mana recharge all the way if you can when you're recharging. We path to try and bait as many orcs as we can. I'm going to be honest, I haven't been keeping track of how many casts I've done of each spell, so I might be missing out on some experience. It shouldn't make a huge difference for the route overall because we get Fire 3 very early. This is quite a lot of text for early game. Oh well. I like the fact that we get like 10 text boxes and tell Isaac to just go off, and then 2 text boxes later he's gone. And then we have to sit through all of that. Anyway, here's where we get the most important part of the run. And no, I'm not talking about the Surf spell that we're gonna use like once. I should say the most important, probably second most important. Come on, you can catch that thing. I'm gonna have to take a reset here. That's unusual that it fails that many times. It's fine. It's a first run. We can have some free time saved. There we go. That one piece of dirt will absolutely distract the monsters. Yes, I agree. There we go. Yeah, so Deathfish, they're kind of good. If you look through the stats of all the monsters in the game, they have the 4th highest attack. The only things higher are the Death Fang, which is just a Deathfish but better. Rune Manders, which are super late game monsters. And something else, which we'll get onto later. Anyway, this level we just pick up a couple of things and then it's a flea level, we don't have to deal with anything. Okay, I think we looked a little low on experience there. Oh wait, no, I forgot there was another level before the end of the chapter, so we're actually doing fine. One, two. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're not getting the full 10 here, but we're going to get most of it. Again, it doesn't particularly matter when we hit the breakpoint. It's super easy to hit fire 3 before the Mistmaster. Oh yeah, one thing that annoys me about this section of the game, you see Trista here? She comes along and asks us if we can fly. Do you know what we need to be able to fly at this point in the game? It's a lot more than what we've got. And she just casually does it without even having a wand of her own. We don't get anywhere near being able to fly in this, and she just does it fine. Why isn't Trista carrying the early game? I mean, for lore reasons, she's not carrying the early game because, yeah, but like. Oh, here's another fun one. This is another left-handed section. You can also get the orcas to start walking early. And they will start walking when the level starts. Time safe, but it's there. I should not have missed that. We're trying to keep the attacks off the screen as much as we can because they make the game lag like anything. Generally try and ignore everything up to this set of, well, I can't remember what they're called, but these things. Okay. At the end of the level we try and get the Orcus just above us so that we can sit next to the crystals and purify them. It doesn't matter if we knock out the things or not. We can go for knockouts for a bit of experience, but experience looks good enough that I don't think we need it. And yeah, there we hit our fire 3, so we are doing perfectly fine. Also, Isaac having a miraculous recovery here skips like so many lines of dialogue. It's unreal. This level, Orcus meat shield, quite literally. That said, I do need the Orcus alive to do the meat shielding. I should not have flashed the whatever it's called, the rune drawing option. That was not optimal movement because we want as few of these Orcus as possible to get caught by that. You generally want to be moving as this guy is casting spells so that you can dodge them, but he's not too difficult to deal with. So anyway, we now have a Deathfish in the windshield. Do you know what that means? It means we can finally get into the path we're on where, well, let's put it this way, we have a strategy and we stick to it. I think we're a little behind on experience. I might try and pick up an extra knockout or something. Oh yeah, one thing I haven't talked about yet. Experience in this game is random. It is literally RNG whether or not you hit your level benchmarks. So yeah, obviously later on in the run we'll want to start deploying stronger units. Whether or not we hit a high enough level, for the most part, is yeah, completely out of our control. I almost forgot there was a mana crystal there we had to deal with. Next level benchmark isn't for a while though, so it's fine if we're a little behind for the moment. One thing I can do is, during the Mistmaster fight, I can KO an optional enemy. I'll get a small amount more experience, which I think is probably best for safety, because every other map up until Lord of the Summer Haze is going to be a defeat all enemies map, and I don't want to be taking risks on that fight, so. But this fight is honestly free. Yeah, one thing to be, again, attacks and things will generally lag the game. We try and avoid that bubble, because it's we try and avoid the bubble because it takes a while to deal with, but obviously if we're just going to get into a spot where we literally cannot move, this guy's now going to get stuck in the heal loop. We just chuck a couple of fire spells at him and we're good. See, told you the fight was free. Okay, this should be the level where we get our... Or this should be the... I don't want to call it a fight exactly, but you do get experience for this tutorial, so you absolutely can get a level up for water or ice or whatever you want to call it during this, and that's generally where it does happen. So we were going for duo runes here. I don't know how my aim is that awful. So yeah, see, gain level, nice, all good. Oh, I have missed a split. Whoops. It's fine. I do have splits running in the background. Unfortunately, I can't record them at the same time without software forcing me into literally 0 frames a second, so... So we're going to have to do with me remembering to hit the split button completely blind. Probably, I'll see if I can edit in the splits at the end, otherwise I'll just include them in the description or something. This is also another great level for leveling ice because it's full of fire shogs. Which obviously you can't damage with fire, you can damage with ice. No idea how that survived. And that's a lie. I know exactly how that survived. If there's one thing I know about this game, it's that everything is random. So if there's a chance of something to happen, that's not what I was supposed to cast on that shog. That's a small time loss, but it's not going to matter in the grand scheme of things, but it is annoying. Yeah, everything in this game is random. Literally. Well. Damage, values, experience, anything numbers based is, if not random, then at least very obscure. Like monster stats, they're not exactly random. They definitely trend towards a pattern, but then sometimes you'll look at their stats at a level and think, huh, that is a couple of points ahead of where it should be. This level is a balance of casting fire for damage and casting ice for training, and also keeping your monsters alive, which I have done a poor job of. I'm just going to play to finish the level. It's going to be suboptimal, but you know, it's fine. I don't know if that throws off experience rating. I feel like survival rate plays into the experience you get, but who knows with this game, honestly. We take the south route because it is a significantly faster level, even though it does mean we have some more overworld travel. That crit is nice. One thing I have found is you can learn to consistently crit. But obviously if you're critting, you're casting fewer spells, you're training stats less. So this is not going the way I thought it would. That is not the spell I meant to cast. That level, it's annoying because you've got those birds flying over the gap and it's hard to reach them. That honestly went fine. I could probably have gone better, could probably have gone worse. Ah well. Anyway. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have random encounters in this game. Yeah. The best way to deal with a random encounter is to just die. This side has wolves which deal the most damage, or hounds I guess. I only know that because in a practice run I got this exact random encounter. Pressing yes is a... well, depends how long it was since you last saved, but it's a significant time save. That said, this is awful encounter luck. I've had practice runs where I've got basically 2 encounters the entire game. This time we've got 2 within, well, before we even get to Rundolph. Excellent. Also, there's no guarantee that just because you got an encounter and died last time that you won't get an encounter again, so that's always fun. Right, we're gonna head to Lord of the Summer Haze first, because I'm not gonna say she's the easier fight, but she's guarding something that we kind of want. Well, actually, there's a couple of things we kind of want in this area. During this level, we're going to be trying to train our ice again. I should have waited to charge mana. This is going to make this very slow now. Or at least this section of it. It should be fine. Alright, all we want to do is bait in a couple of wyverns. We can't deal with all the wyverns at once, but we can deal with a couple at a time, which is great. Okay. This could be better. Ah, okay. He missed. That's fine then. You generally want your death fish to have slightly higher health than that, so that they don't just die to the magic, but it's not a big deal. Okay, one thing you do need to be careful from this level is not getting overwhelmed. If you try to engage too many enemies at once, then things go badly. So what we do is we just don't engage that many enemies at once. Okay, this is the part where we send our monsters off in different directions. One monster goes down to block the portal. The others... this is... I am normally so much better at this. The others go enough to clean the bottom area. And meanwhile Isaac goes and cleans up top. We do a quick swap of which ones is taking damage so that they don't die. Which means that those two should finish off the Ruby Golem just fine. Yeah, see? Just fine, she says. We want to get these close enough to purify the crystal. And after they've gained back enough health to deal with the golem, we send them to deal with the golem. So they should win that fight basically for free. We try and get into a position where we can deal with this salamander as quickly as possible. And yeah, we win that. Okay, low level 12, so we should be fine on as far as experience goes. Also, that item we picked up was a demon horn. That is going to be very helpful going forwards. Alright. Next level. Again, these are... fire levels are usually somewhat convoluted because it's the first sort of high level area of the game where we don't quite have all the tools we need to win for free, but we have enough. Generally try and pick up a couple of these things around about here, just to make things easier later on. We are covering the portals, so that's all good. I'm going to fish for a crit here. And get one. The idea being you can get a crit and then you don't even need to wait for your death fish to finish off the shogs. That's so much easier when there's fewer of them, or thanks to clearing some earlier, so... Anyway, here's the second thing we want to collect. That is not how that's supposed to go. As it turns out, we are too good at the ice, and we're murdering things. There we go. That's the second thing we wanted, a phoenix. We want the phoenix because it's useful in exactly one fight. Take a wild guess which one that's going to be. Anyway, hopefully we get out of this fight on the first try, but if not, no harm taking a save for safety. 37 minutes at this point is not bad. And generally you want to be past the not Lord of the Summer Haze, Master of the Curtain Mist within half an hour, so about 10 minutes beyond that is pretty good going for the split. anyway, now we're in the Lord of the Summer Haze level. This is where we pick up the third and final thing that we want from this area. Which is that Flare Wolf in particular. Or Flare Hound, I guess. Wolf Hound, same difference. Trust the Haze Lord to be awkward. Also, we very deliberately want to not cross that, I would say, line in the sand, the edge of that lava lake. Because if we do, then we get someone not very pleased with us, shall we say. They start shooting things at us for whatever reason, no idea why. Okay. This level is... I probably don't need to be doing this, but I like having the defense drop if I can get it. As a sort of safety strat. It means the Haze Lord starts taking damage a little bit quicker. Which means that we can do that. Without the defense drop, she can start healing herself pretty quickly, so generally we prefer it if she doesn't do that. Unfortunately, I am behind on experience, so I am going to have to do an extra menu at some point. That's out of my control. Experience is literally random if luck goes badly. Then, well, luck goes badly. Anyway, Flare Hounds. You know how I said Deathfish had the 4th highest attack in the game? This is the thing with the highest total attack. I say total attack, it's... So there are monsters with higher attack, but they are normally only 1 or 2 units. So the total amount of damage they're dealing, Flare Hounds will obviously get 3 attacks every time a group of them is attacking something. Whereas something like a dragon, even though it's got a higher attack stat, will get fewer attacks. Or will only get 1 attack every so often. So if you multiply the Flare Hound's attack stat by 3, it ends up being significantly higher than literally anything else. It's not quite as straightforward as all that. But yeah. Oh, also, seal cutscene. You can get it over and done with like super fast. Yeah. So anyway, Flare Hounds will be the fastest thing. Will be, well, they'll deal the most damage to anything with less than like 140 defense, which is not a lot of things. Or, I say 140 defense, that's the stat at level 50. At level 1, I think it ends up being less than that, but... Well, of course it ends up being less than that. Defense stats, can't remember if that's 70 or like 90 something at level 1. But point is, you have to have a pretty high defense stat before endgame units like the dragons end up doing more damage than flare hounds. That ice spell there was just out of habit. There is basically no reason to be casting ice spells at this stage in the game. Actually, fire probably has enough range there. Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, the flare hounds do die during this level. It is a sad side effect of there being spikes in the middle. Alright, there's a cutscene here, never mind. Okay, now I briefly mentioned the level benchmark earlier. For the early Gold Sand Dunes levels, you can also deploy some Orcus to have a tiny bit more damage, have something to run ahead and bait enemies. Unfortunately, that is not really possible if you don't hit level 13. So we're gonna have to live without it. We have hit level 13 since, but I kind of want to do a save soon, so I'll just combine it with that menu. For the sake of efficiency, you let your mana recharge fully every time you can. Just means you have to spend less time recharging later down the line. Yeah, that should be enough health to deal with this last bit. Generally, when you've got a group of enemies, it's best to tell your units to target one of them in particular. That way, they'll clear out one enemy first, and you'll stop taking so much damage. Okay, we have definitely hit level 13 now, so we get to add the Orcus to our party. This is, I think, hard required for at least beating this upcoming level with this strat. Ignore me saving twice. That's not strictly necessary. I just do it out of paranoia. you know how you gotta make sure that you're saved. Yeah. Here's the fun strats. You can do a little set of lines like that, which gets exactly 3 Hounds and an Orcus. And also keeps you just about in range to send 1 Orcus off to off into the sand in one direction, and the other one will already be standing in the sand in the other. Those heals were probably unnecessary. It's probably better to not waste the time. Okay. That's a little earlier than I like for the first wall. Generally, I have had to practice this level a lot because it's very easy to just die sometimes. Okay. Okay, ideally we get to recover our mana before the next meteor. That was close. Okay, the Orcus is gone. That's honestly fine. Cool. The Orcus is not strictly required for the end of this level. That is annoying wall placement. How dare you? This should be fine. Once the wall comes down. Okay, I need to move in and heal them. And also not die myself. There we go. Normally that strat's a little better because the wall doesn't end up in our way, but it's the stone general. He's gonna chuck walls at us, and it's honestly awful sometimes. Oh, also, this is where we find out that Trista actually is a one of the 6 sages, or 7 sages. Can't remember if Twilight counts as a sage, or if she's just someone completely different. Well, not completely different, just some sort of superior or inferior. I have no idea. Yeah, Trista's a sage. Woo. Still doesn't want to help us other than telling this door to open itself. And this way we find out that Dad is evil. Oh dear. we find out that Dad is evil, and we also find out about Mum. Yay. Turns out Isaac was born in Rudolph. Wonderful place. Anyway, now we get into the... These are the mid-game levels. It's the end game of the first half of the game. I think it's best to deal with this one first. I can never remember though. Our fire level is stupidly high, so any fire magic will do absurd amounts of damage. I go in this order so that those enemies on the left don't end up flying over and causing problems. Speaking of enemies flying over and causing problems, there we go, they have flown over and successfully not caused problems. Yay. I'm the only one causing problems here. I have no idea how that one on the left wasn't baited in. Okay, there's Isaac that's taking damage, so should probably have been a bit more careful there. Oh well. One thing I do need to check is what my light level is looking at. That looks good enough. I should be hitting light level 3, which is the important benchmark. Okay, time for the dad fight. Hope this goes well. Alright, what magic should I use? Could do some fire. Dog's probably good here. Do also need to train up one. Oh dear. I love how being able to lose is a thing you need to be good at in this game. Both for this fight and also just coping with the random encounters. Seeing as your only way to escape quickly is to just die. Yeah. Unfortunately, my camera is mounted on the top of the laptop, so I've been good at not knocking it so far, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to have continued. Okay, right, this level. We want to make those 2 Dark Walkers early, so that we can get them nice and grouped up over here. And do that. This is one of those levels where you kind of have to play 2 halves of the map at once. Alright, I forgot that mana is the thing that we have to worry about. I'm so used to playing parts of the game where you just have all the mana you need for everything you want to do, but nope, not this part. Oh dear, one of the walls has got stuck. That's fine. I'm assuming this isn't too much of a problem. Yeah, no, they've got it plenty under control. Okay, this is a fun strat. If you sit in this corner here, that just kills everything. Then you can get out of range of the Dark Walker before it causes problems. Alright. Ideally, I hit level 15 here. That's a little on the low side. The main thing we want to look for is level 16 after this level, which... I mean, normally we'd be a little behind on that. Don't worry about it. We'll hit level 16 for sure, she says. Yeah, this level. It is a big, long defeat boss level where you have to go in a huge loop and then eventually fight a boss. But the boss isn't the biggest of our worries now. It is, well, 2 things on the map. One of those right here. Annoyingly, the boss does just heal loop this bat. If you're not careful about it. Oh, we lost an Orcus. That's... Oops. I am not entirely certain that... No, I don't want to catch another bat. I've got one already. Honestly. This should be fine. I'm gonna play this safe because this is the first run, but... Overall, I don't think this is a huge problem. Alright. 1 set of ghosts. 2 set of ghosts. Three. I have in my notes that 8 of these is about level. I wanted to play it safe, so I was going to go with 10. That's 4 sets of ghosts. But with the Orcus dead, I am going to take a couple extra even beyond that. That's 5 sets of ghosts. That was 6. Seven. 8. We want to try and stay out of the poison if we can. 9. I'm gonna stall a bit and try and get a heal off. This is 10. I'm going to do a couple more. This is probably not the most efficient way I can farm these ghosts, but okay, and this last set. I'm going to bait them out just a little bit further. So that when we run over this way, we don't get caught again. Okay. Quick heal up. And then before we get into range, we will also make use of our first attack buff of the run. Attack buffs are so good for getting through bosses. You just buff attack and their health just disappears. And in theory this should get us to level 16, yeah, easily. Also gets us a light level. That is exactly where we want to be. So at level 16 you get 1 extra unit point, which means we have just enough to do this. And by this I mean swap out our Orcus for a flying unit. And just in time too. Because this next level basically hard requires a flying unit. That's a wall. Walls generally aren't helpful. I sometimes get a ghost spawning on that platform there, so I sent both the pats over, but ultimately it only really needs 1. The other one comes over here. And then we sent the Hounds over to deal with this shulk here. And deal with that shulk there. So now the last thing left to deal with is all these ghosts. And what we generally try and do is get on the portal here and then do this. And they just vanish. No idea where they went. If you can get the last group all in one go, then you don't even need to stand on the portal because they're all dead before another one can respawn, but I find it more consistent to just go for the portal. Anyway, fighting Leonard. This is actually not that bad. We have buffs now, so we can just do this and run past everything. Yeah, this is normally where the buffs run out. This is fine, we can just refresh them in a moment. Although, ideally not when we're standing on top of poison. We're going to have a slow bat, that's fine. Okay, it's about taking all the damage, that's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is under control. Nothing's taken too much damage, so we're all good to just push on ahead. And by push on ahead, I mean buff attack here. And ignore everything. Because Leonard is squishy and our monsters are good. Hopefully this doesn't give me an awful spawn. Oh, okay. No, that is kind of awful. Maybe it was better to go for the Hound, but probably the ghosts are... Actually, ghosts and a patch of poison, that'll get me out of here the quickest. That level sucks to get a random encounter in. Don't think I've ever actually seen this map in a while. I know I must have seen it when I was playing through and grinding levels, but... Yeah, don't recognise this one. Dark Water's cool, okay. They'll at least make this quick. Yeah, you can easily get through there with 0 encounters. Getting 2 is not great. Whatever option you choose there doesn't actually matter for time purposes. I just choose I will save because it makes Trista happy. And Trista's best goal, obviously. I like to bring the bats over to the middle because these middle enemies are scary. But I haven't actually tested to see if that's faster than letting the bats do their thing first. And obviously the walls have finished up what they need to finish up, so we just bring the bats over and keep exploding. Alright, now I remember why my strategy is to target the shogs first. Because they have an annoying habit of just healing up. Oh well. So yeah, the last level we're trying to hit here is level 18. That gets us 63 total mana, which lets us cast a particular spell. The other way to make casting that spell easier is to reach a high level of affinity for darkness, but well, you've seen how many dark spells we're casting here. Considering I have no way to heal up these monsters, getting them into position in such a way that they don't all just die is very helpful. Okay, those two bats are on right hand side patrol. Or not right hand side, left hand side. I promise I know my directions. I'd like to pick up the bats. Okay, good. We blocked that portal early enough. Yeah, getting the bats to go over there and do that portal means that we don't have to waste time going there later. Ideally, I picked the bat with more HP there, but does it particularly matter which one I pick? Because it's just here to help out a tiny amount. Did I say it was here to help out? Technically, yes. I have never seen the enemies go in a pattern like that. Normally it's not that chaotic. Ah well, wasn't too bad though. And I think that means that I get enough experience in this level to hit level 18. Which, the actual dad fight is the first time you want to be able to, well, I'll just say it, do the buff glitch. You need, with light level 3, you need 63 mana to cast a light 1 dark 3. And that is a spell you need to cast to perform the buff glitch. Oh, that's on me. I wasn't paying attention. I forgot there were I think the harpies, I forgot they'd be causing problems. Okay. At least this time the bats cooperated. As a general rule, I try and use the explosion for groups like that. I'm going to heal up Isaac there just out of paranoia. I don't think it's actually necessary. But things can get a little bit messy in this end section. Because you're trying to pilot the bats and the ground units in parallel, which is not always the easiest. Cool, we hit level 18, which is exactly what we need for this level. Once you hit level 18, this level becomes so free. Okay, how do you do this level completely free? Well, first of all, you group your enemies up, or your allies up, and buff their attack. Very important step. Second, you buff their magic defense and heal them to full. And then when your mana recharges a third time, recharges to full, I should say. Okay, I messed that up. They need another attack buff. I will heal to full again. Yeah, buffs only last so long, and you need to have your buffs active when you do this last step. I have no idea how that worked, but that worked. Then you separate out Isaac, and you send your monsters straight at Dad. They have buffed magic defense, so they don't take too much from this, and they have buffed attack, The light spell that we used, well, it clears the buff status condition from all monsters, but in some levels that just doesn't wipe their buffs, so those Flare Hounds still had the boosted attack and magic defense, and they had those permanently. They weren't going to wear off in like 20 seconds. And yeah, that buff glitch makes a number of fights, including this one, so much easier. Okay, this level. This one is... it's a level. It's not so much the level is difficult per se, it's just that in order to do it fast, you kind of have to do it a little bit stupid. Alright. And obviously now that we've hit level 18, we've got everything, all the mana we need. We don't care about experience, we just care about getting in the level. So yeah, having enemies on screen does cause a ton of lag, so we're trying to keep as many of them off screen as possible. 30 seconds is a decent time for that level, yeah. Cool. This level's a lot easier because you've got much more space to work with, much fewer enemies tagging along as you go along. But yeah. I generally try and shed a couple of monsters as I go along here, just to distract the enemies. You don't actually care who lives or doesn't in this level. Well, Isaac obviously, but... other than Isaac, you don't care what happens, and having a monster stay behind to distract enemies and reduce lag is very helpful. Anyway, we're now coming up on the most important input of the game. Those two inputs there. If you get them wrong, I haven't timed it, but they probably cost you what, like half an hour or something. You know, nothing major. Anyway, we're now confirmed on the bad route, which gives us access to the let's say the fast ending. Let's not call it a good ending, because it really isn't. Poor Trista. Oh yeah, also lore things. The Overthrow has made a tree fortress for whatever reason. Never understood that. Okay, Master of the Carbon Mist. This one is substantially better with buff glitch compared to without, so we just get to do the free fight. Same pattern as always for these kinds of fights. We buff attack. We buff magic resistance and heal. We wait for mana to fully recharge. And clear all that. And we now have a permanent buff to attack and resistance. Yeah, I was going to say sometimes Master of the Carbon Mist likes to throw out an ice cloud. Our preferred mass heal does cure us of freeze, so that's always good. I do chuck on a water resist here because we're using flare hounds. They're made of fire, so they don't tend to mix well with the spells that are coming out here. But yeah, with buffed attack, flare hounds make quick work of most bosses. Okay, on to Lord of the Summer Haze. If you remember first time round, I said it was somewhat scary and played a very safe strat. Not so much this time. We have flare hounds, we have buffs, we have a completely different map layout as well. One of the scary things with the initial map layout is that all the monsters group up around the Lord of the Summer Haze, and you basically can't deal damage to her. Not the case here. She's just wandering around all the monsters. We just buff our speed, so we go zoomy. Walk around the wall. And then wait until we're in range, and normally I'd try to buff attack here, but I'm having trouble doing the inputs. Doesn't matter. Still over. Could have saved a few seconds by buffing attack, but no big deal. Okay. $115. Got 4 levels left. This is going to be low 120s, assuming everything goes to plan. That said, we are about to fight the General of the Gravelstone, so going to plan is not necessarily what's going to happen. Okay, ideally I buff everyone with that, give everyone that defense buff, but I think enough monsters got it that it's not a problem. Alright, I'm trying to stall dealing with these hounds because... Ah, the map got blocked. That's not the most usual of occurrences. Anyway, yeah, we send the bat up there to block the portal before fighting the monsters properly. Yeah. That bat's now going to sit there for the rest of the level. I do like to do one quick buff while everyone's grouped here. This just makes it so much easier to go through the sound, especially with walls that may or may not be appearing. Fortunately, we have this spell, which means the walls are no longer a run-ending problem. Okay, that's bad. One of our walls died. And this should still be recoverable. And by recoverable, I mean we're just going to go for it and hope. Oh, he's... Haha. I'm not trapped in here, you're trapped in here with me. Yeah, not having the other monsters fighting on the edges makes that so much easier. Or at least makes it so much less risky, because you're not watching to see if Isaac's going to die anytime soon. Anyway, yeah, secondly in our level. It's basically the same as the first, just with buffs. I can't remember buff glitch. I think this is, yeah, no, there's 2 levels in a row where buff glitch doesn't work, and this is one of them. So unfortunately, we don't get to keep this buff forever. But hello, I would like some speed, please. 1 order of speed. Not that kind. Just 1 order of going fast for a speed run. Isaac's getting a little low. It's probably fine though. I'm going to take a brief pause about here to do that. Okay, I need to wait for mana to recharge. That's fine. Don't know if I got everyone. I think that looked like everyone was in the circle. Ideally we get through this bit before Leonard starts trying to freeze people. Just Isaac getting frozen is fine. I'll send the monsters forward to deal with the shogs that are generally patrolling this area. night before. Bye. Enjoy your trip. Because Leonard is uber squishy. Okay, Dad Fight 2. This is literally exactly the same as Dad Fight 1. I think things are slightly higher level, but it doesn't matter. They still die to three flare hounds and some bats, just the same. Anyway, let's show off how this level is supposed to be done. If you don't forget that you need to recharge mana halfway through. Okay. Bye, have a nice trip. This is literally the strategy. If they can survive easily enough, then we don't send Isaac in, we just plot Isaac somewhere safe and let them do their work. If there's a risk they're going to take some damage, then we send Isaac along to spam heal spells. Anyway, on to the final fight. Yeah, Trista, we murdered her earlier, right? Okay, I guess technically the Diva of the Twilight did that, but she blamed it on us, and now we're working for her because it was our fault and we have to repay it. No, look, the law's a tiny bit messed up on the bad route, but, you know, it's fine. We found Trista now, everything's happy, right? Oh, no, wait, hold on. Don't get to keep the speed off this buff glitch, but that's fine. Speed is normally just a bonus for this particular glitch. Lost a hound, that's fine. Buffed attack, yep. Okay. So we're in the keep everyone alive phase of things. Trista does some silly stuff, but we get through in the end. And that's time as far as leaderboard is concerned, but I do still play through the last couple of sections to make sure I click the "This is farewell" button. There is some more of the story you can play through, but that is a meaningful input that I like to include. Now we get a short cutscene and we get to find out final in-game time. Also, rest in peace, Isaac. So yeah, that was Lost Magic. It's a game I enjoy. It's a game I've played fast, and this is, assuming I've recorded everything correctly, world record by at least 2 hours. Actually, about 2 hours. I don't know if it's more or less at this point. Yeah. Yeah, it's a game I enjoy, and I saw that the leaderboards were, I'm going to say, slightly less notable. Flare Hounds good, what can I say? Anyway. Let's just let the cutscene play out a tiny bit and find out. I'm going to guess 124. Ooh, 122. That is... wow, okay, that's faster than I thought. Deal. Come and beat my time, I guess. Whoever's watching this in the future.